In their flight from Mirabar, the 3rd Daggerford irregulars shoulder a heavy debt of honor to the stalwart defenders who fight tirelessly against the Orc menace. But as they stride boldly to Luskan, a deep evil brews like a gathering storm that threatens to shake the very foundation of trust.
You all arrive fresh early in the morning to the entrance to the underground markets, where you are met by Goldbeard. He hands to you a stone, Feral. In fact, he goes to hand it to you, then he stops, and he hands it to you.
Oh no!
This must be delivered to the leaders of the Lord's Alliance army that is coming to break the siege. Hopefully you will meet them between here and Luskan, if not, between here and Neverwinter. If you get to Neverwinter and this army is not coming, then raise hell until it does. And I will ask you to give your word as a member of the Order of the Ruby Circlet.
I give you my word. I will not give up until an army is summoned to aid Mirabai in its strife.
Alright.
Nice.
Potentially a demon army. It's alright, I got you covered.
There's
wiggle
out
room.
here. They've got the dead.
Didn't say how large the army had to be.
Spear's like
It's
freaking
Bruce
out
and
on
Daryl
the
left it
inside,
over here.
but she's like trying to keep it together.
The dagger for the regulars.
I can do this! I believe in me!
And so he summons a few guards. Some of them you recognize from the earlier fighting. In particular, these ones seem to be injured ones. Ones who have mostly in the arms or upper body, or they've had facial injuries, lost eyes, ears, things like that. It's minor injuries that would diminish their edge in a conflict, but would still be well equipped to escort you to the exit point in the north without any risk. And so you all take your supplies and your bits and pieces. You're in Raven form at the moment, Gus.
Something keeps bumping into me on your shoulder. What?
No, it's dismissed.
Kidding. You got a devil on one side.
Bend over, breathe out.
And you are led into a major artery that comes off of the underground marketplace, down the stairs once more into the vaulted chambers. Through all of the market sellers have been moved along. Instead, their places have been replaced with blacksmiths, people sharpening weapons, armor smiths, people repairing and preparing weapons and utensils for the conflict on the other side. An impromptu factory, a first aid station for arms and armor has basically been set up here as a front line between that and the medical stations that are on the top side. However, this is something that you leave all behind you. The prey, the refugees, the craziness of the streets, the beauty of the architecture, and the comforts of the Lord's Rest. A place that most of you have never experienced before, and some of you may have considered to be slumming it. But for the rest of you...
Thank God we've left that hellhole.
But for the most of you, you sort of look behind you and see it all off, in the hopes that what you are doing is for a greater good. And you feel confident inside of you that you will find the solutions to the problems that you seek to solve, whatever they may be. And you enter the long, dark tunnel, very dimly lit. Every now and again, you'll see fireflies moving around, for they have colonies of fireflies in various outposts in the ceiling that feed off fungus that live here. It's a little thing they've taken from the Underdark. You used to remember seeing these all around when you were living there. They actually have a very sweet nectar that comes out of the hives, only in certain times of year during the breeding season.
I'm going to get some of that fungus. It's a good big scoop. And just start... I'll save it for pack it in, but I want to be to
Try and get a hive.
get a little hive going, so at night I can like pop them out. They're like, oh yeah, yeah.
They come out at dusk, mostly.
Dust party time.
I just pop that down.
So you're starting it. You know,
Infest.
just
It's gonna
give
take
me
a
a
while.
campaign or two, and it might grow. Just keep reminding me. And
I'll grab some breeding pairs of.
And in this dim light, you make your way down the long tunnel. Very few people are making their way. But occasionally, you see a wagon coming your way, loaded with supplies, with minerals, with metals, with various other things that can be gone into, again, fueling the war effort. There's a little bit of traffic out, small groups of people just being sheepishly walking in the direction of sanctuary or uncertainty, as the case may be, unless they're specifically going to the dwarven mining sites or some of the older cities beneath the mountains. For them, this is a route away from the chaos and destruction of Mirabar and the various threats that lie therein. After a day of travel, you come to a point, and the guide turns and says, "Now we'll rest. It'll only be a couple more hours before we get out. But tell me, do you want to leave the tunnels in the nighttime or in the daytime?"
I'm preferring nighttime.
I would prefer nighttime.
Why would you prefer nighttime?
I think daytime, we can still go
Just
out with stealth.
Prefer
But we can
navigating
see
by the
them.
stars.
Because the orcs can see during the night, right?
It's only much.
So it's much more.
It only disadvantages us.
Oh,
Some of
that's
us.
right. Sorry, I forget.
Yeah, because bad guys can see in the dark.
Wish we had a cleric to heal that.
Actually have dark vision, I'll be honest.
I think who doesn't have dark vision?
Or you? Oh, no.
I don't have it.
Oh,
I
you
gr-
don't have dark
I,
vision.
I grew up in the Underdark,
He-
but that
He's
didn't.
He's human.
Yeah, I'm actually human.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I'm comfortable in the dark, but I need my little fireflies. I just use prestidigitation.
Because regardless of when you want to leave, this is probably the last safe place to make camp.
Then I
We have a
guess
supply
Okay.
cache here.
we can make
4
camp.
hours rest for everyone. Oh shit! Sorry, guys. 8.
I keep forgetting.
So you've been going for about 12 hours at this point. And what's that? Well, that makes it midnight. Oh, no, dawn, 6, 7, 8. It's 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you want to continue going a bit longer,
No, I think
it'll be
we're
2 hours.
more
So
rested coming out.
Look,
it'll be
It's
8 o'clock
safer.
by the
You're
time
not
you get out into the
entirely wrong
evening.
about the whole daytime thing with orcs.
Yeah, we can rest
So we're going to rest through till tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I think
till very early dawn, I guess.
It's really strange. You sit down at this point, and just suddenly it hits you the fact that you've been moving down a straight line for 12 hours straight, pretty much, and you sit down, and the world keeps moving past you with that weird sense of distortion.
Man,
Oh, okay. So
who wants to play some dice?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, all right.
you need distraction.
Do you guys want to take a short rest or a long rest at this point?
Well, if we're waiting till day, we might as well take a long rest.
Yeah.
All right.
In that case, what I'm going to do is, with that fungal, pack it in.
Yep.
Cast animal friendship on. I'll burn them all when we get like how many? Because you only get one animal with it. I'm guessing at one insect per casting.
No, you can get a few.
All right, I'll boil my spell slots. I'll get them to start.
Okay,
Building in.
yeah, you'll convince them you're a safe place.
Yeah, come on, burn.
See how long that lasts.
Well, no, because they get like the little hive will be like under one of the carapaces,
Mhm.
so they'll hopefully be relatively safe.
Yeah, it's not like you get hit or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like people are
I can't
spending
remember when was the last time I got.
you
When was the last time I got hit?
like a week ago.
Yeah.
It's been a fairly safe couple of days at least.
Yeah,
I'm
the
sure
last few
what would
days make you
change-
feel very confident about going forwards,
Yeah.
really. So you take your long rest. It's very safe down there that evening. The guides take turns keeping watch so that you guys can get the full night's rest. They encourage you to do so.
They're humans, right?
Dwarves.
Oh,
Doesn't
I'll
They're all the same.
tag team some of them to actually get a bit more sleep.
Okay, so Peral and Saria, you help out with that. Saria, you stay up a few extra hours. Peral, you wake up a little bit earlier. So there's always one of you and one of them on. But the night passes without any incident. And you are then in the morning led by the guides to a small doorway with, again, an iron portcullis. They unlock it with a heavy key, open it up, and lead you up a set of small stairs, just narrow enough for the largest of you to fit through. And when you get to the top, you see an old open door. They unlock it again with a key and open it inwards. They then push up and you see there's some bushes growing over the top, and they just like pull some of the leaves aside. And so up.
Right, I'll head out first.
If you turn right, you'll be facing the mountains. They run all the way to the sea. If you're facing the mountains, behind you is the river. Between the mountains and the river is your path. I'd give it a clearance of about 4 or 5 miles before you even head to the river. Otherwise you might run into orcs. Remember, it's not just the armies, there'll be bands of youths wandering around trying to prove themselves.
Thank you.
Good luck, we're counting on you.
Good luck with the rest.
You can believe in us. An army or no dice.
Thanks, Wentworth. Your efforts will always be remembered. You and your compatriots.
Come along, Archmage. Let's go forth.
Yes.
Archmage. Archhold, I like it.
Man.
And you all make it out to the morning sky. What time did you want to get out there? It's your call. You took the rest.
Just like as soon as dawn happens, like sunrise, we're around.
Yeah, the sun is still coming up. It's just crested over the mountains. Everything's in dim light. A mist is coming up from the direction of the river. You can't see it from here. There's still quite a lot of forests in the foothills between here and there. But this terrain is sort of rolling hills, lightly wooded, still some grasses here and there, but patchy woodlands throughout this whole area. You can smell the water, and you can smell the fires from the siege and the burning city from here. Where do you head? The door closes. Bushes.
Oh,
It's a new day.
Through the foothills, sounds like.
Yeah, so 4 or 5 miles, and then
New day, new ports.
As much foresty area as possible. would be
8.
What I'd be looking for. As much cover as possible.
Yep, you can go patch to patch through the forested area if you want, between the, many of you traveling between the river and the mountains.
Yep.
Give you quite a bit of cover. So, who would like to lead the way? People with survival or nature will have the best ability to lead this party.
I have +3.
I have +7 to survival.
+2.
Lord.
So I think Gus is leading
That's
the way.
lead us the way, Mushroom
Why
Man.
are we not surprised about
Did you guys want me to go in regular form, or did you want me to switch into a horse or something?
I
And
think we need to hear you speak to us there. Anyway, go on, whichever.
well, as a
Depends on
horse,
how
I
far
can
ahead you
just, I
go.
can just go. If you're on my back, you can just follow me.
How long
Just
does your
tap
wild
out
shape
code.
last for?
2 hours, and I'll have 2 of them, so 4 hours per short rest.
How much are you actually carrying right now?
Well, the
In
biggest
your
extra weight is
druid
the
holding.
barrel.
No, but when I would carry it all, then turn into my form, and then I become unencumbered. And then I
It's
start
true,
Hmm.
but even 4 hours a day, you just walked for like 12 hours,
Yeah.
which means 8 hours of that you guys were sharing what extra weight
Yeah.
you had carrying on you.
Just fit it out.
And
like
I'm
a
not sure
backpack
what
for
that
speed.
is, but I assume it's at least the barrel. I'm
Yeah.
not sure I don't think there are any other large objects that you're carrying with you,
Plate.
which I'm assuming you're
Wearing
wearing.
that.
Also,
Yeah, and you got rid of your old plate armor, correct?
Yeah,
because I can
Yeah.
use
I'm not encumbered.
Charlie's
According
amount.
to my inventory, which is up to date.
Can you?
I'm all in favor.
Can you actually use Charlie as a mount?
Can we
How
get
can
some
we use Charlie as
saddlebags
a
for
mount?
Charlie?
You get on his back
You
and hold on.
cannot.
How do you
ride
hold
a
onto a
st-
huge python?
cannot
You
ride a
shape
snake.
change into
No,
a
it doesn't
gecko.
work.
And
And
also,
then just-
like,
Yeah, I'm
like
super
snakes
strong. I can carry
actually
lots of
go
stuff.
like this.
Yeah,
like, walk.
or they go side by side. They're two
they're
layers of shifting, like the layer of skin, a layer of muscle, and then a layer of
What
skin, a layer of fat, and a layer of
happens
muscle.
to the stuff that Charlie eats?
I've never asked that question.
Can we feed Charlie a
Can't
test
we carry
object?
our stuff,
Turn him
though?
into a stick.
Yeah, we
and
don't
turn
just
him back
we
into
have
Charlie
enough-
and get him
We
to.
haven't all packed like everything we own. We're carrying what we're carrying. right?
Yeah.
So I can carry my stuff.
Typical
I'm happy to carry the
We can
barrel.
all carry.
I'm extremely strong.
You know what, Gus? You can probably
You can give
probably
me the
just
barrel
walk.
if you like.
Alright.
If you
I've got another,
want to
like,
like scurry
16
around to something,
Well,
stuff
stuff
I can
ahead,
carry.
that's fine. But
50%
like,
our
I think
barrel.
we're
I
we-
can
you know,
4
we
hours
check
with
stuff.
regard to a whole day of travel is a minimal amount of time.
Yep.
Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's fine.
But we're
But
probably
I'll get them
closest.
back
This
with
is
a
the
short rest.
riskiest area, right?
So whenever we
Mm.
take a break, I'll get
Yeah.
those back.
So this is probably the riskiest area. If we're going to have you scouting out, now is probably the time.
Yeah, I
As,
think
like
you just
some
scout
little creature.
as a
Sorry, I'm
whichever
bows
way
out.
you think scouting will work best.
All right.
Since you're doing the
How's
you're
this?
telling us,
Cast disguise self for myself.
you're telling us
and
where
turn
to-
into a goblin, warg rider. You turn into a warg, and we ride. And these guys are in chains. And we just walk slowly through the thing.
That's-
Are we over engineering a solution
They hate
here?
Yeah, we
It does sound pretty
probably
cool, and I get to ride a warg. And
What if
Well, why don't you two do
feel like
that,
we're
and then
attracting
we'll just
attention.
walk, and if we come into something, you don't need to...
Are you
going
going
to
to expend your
change.
wild shape
Yeah, 'cause I
at
don't
this
think
point in
you're
the
gonna
day?
No, I'll just start going by foot at the moment.
Alright. So you start walking and you lead the way, and I would like you to make a survival roll.
You got this.
Anyone want to help me?
Yeah.
I'd love to help you.
I'll be
I
making
know
my own
I can.
I can
secret
give you some
survival
bardic
roll just in case I
inspiration for the
disagree.
day.
Also,
that's it.
guidance.
For the love of God, take us the right direction.
So that's 27.
Alright, cool. You can smell the sea. Even from here.
What's that? Oh, it's the barrel. No. That's the sea.
Alright, so you lead the way.
No.
At this end, you start working your way through from one thicket to the next as you go away. You make your way without incident for the first hour, and then I'd like everyone to make perception rolls.
perception rolls?
Great.
Natural 1, baby.
16.
It's so nice out here in the wilderness.
16.
11.
Oh, that becomes a 7. That's not bad. It's not good, but
Well, Mr.
22.
Perception. I was going to
Well,
say,
that
we have
gives me
Mr. Perception in the front.
So I'll give
so-
you a total of 2
Okay,
now.
cool.
Like if I add my
Um,
bonus.
So, as you're moving along, you start to catch the scent of a fire. And you look to the sky and you see, you sort of move to a place in the thicket where you can see across the land a little bit, and you start to see a couple of plumes of smoke coming from along your path, essentially. Now, of course, you can skirt around it if you want.
There's a fire up ahead. Did you guys want to take the long way around or see who's there?
Well, it could be.
scout out and kill him.
Hang on, this could be the army we're meant to be meeting.
I don't think
No, the
they're
army
this
we're meant to be
close.
meeting is
I presume bigger.
like 4 or 5 days south.
No, the army we're meant to be meeting is best case scenario between here and Luskin, worst case scenario between Luskin and Neverwinter, and not between there.
I thought it
and
hadn't been
Apprentice.
sent yet.
We should
That's what I
definitely
heard.
scout it.
That's what I heard.
Yes, it's true. It could be the army. Well, we can scout ahead and just
Yeah.
get a peek at, if we can get a line of sight on them.
All right.
Come on,
I'll
we've done
cast
this before.
Pass Without Trace and we can scout in.
Not bring spear? Well, she's very clunky.
I
I
know.
love
That's
spear.
true.
We'll be doing group checks,
Alright. Pass
which
without
means
a
only
trace.
half of us need to pass, and we'll have plus 10.
And I'm on
Cool.
fire right now.
You are really.
Alright, so you're casting
Smashing
Pass
Without
Without Trace,
And we start moving.
and you all make a stealth roll, please.
Yeah.
Stealth roll.
27
Stealth
roll.
roll. I'm really good at this.
Oh goodness.
Your disadvantage with your armor.
It was
That's-
the same.
32.
That's nice.
6.
It's impossible.
27.
You have at least
Uh-huh.
plus 10 to your roll
Oh, why?
because
Oh,
Pass Without
Pass
Trace.
Without
Oh, look,
Trace.
it gives you a
Oh,
total
right.
of 8.
No, 16.
8.
If I add
15.
plus 10, also I get my
20.
odd. That gives me 18 then.
Alright,
my
cool.
3.
You guys make your way through the wilderness, in particular through the thicket that seems to be nearest to the fires, and as the trees start to thin out, you catch a glimpse in a clearing of these fires and some humanoid shapes hanging around. You hear some noises coming up, and you can all make perception rolls again.
So much for that. 10.
20.
9.
18.
Anyone who got above a
10?
12 can make a.
I speak Orcish. Is it Orcish?
It's not Orcish.
Humanoid shapes.
Can make an intelligence roll.
Are they gnomes?
Oh, that would have been
Welcome to, but it
handy,
seems to be
but that's a 10.
14.
Int, this is?
Yep.
17. 20 plus 2.
16.
So 16.
It's a bad blueberry.
It seems like
Soft
a.
expression.
So, anyone who got higher than a. So,
16?
yeah, you got it. And what'd you get?
10.
So, it sounds like a cross between goblins, like goblin tongue, or goblinoid tongue, and then the crude ramblings of a couple of ogres. So there's like 3 ogres and 6 goblins sitting around a couple of campfires, and they're bantering in goblin. They seem to be reasonably well dressed, reasonably well equipped. They have a stock of goods set aside, which seem to be looted goods from various places. Definitely looks like human craftsmanship in there, or dwarven or elven craftsmanship, possibly from just raiding nearby towns or settlements, possibly supply trains. But they seem to be a group of people in the wilderness. And the goblins in particular seem a bit far out of sorts, unless they are natives to this area and you're really not sure. There's not many
Is there
people
any
around.
maximum
insignia or
range
anything
murder.
that we can recognize? Like,
They
is
don't
there anything about the
recognize,
way
oh,
they dress
go
seem
around.
familiar, or
Give me a
like...
Do
perception
they
roll.
have like horses and things like that that would be useful?
No go!
Do they have any mouths?
Okay.
But does anyone
Doesn't
notice...
appear so.
Yeah,
Didn't
I mean,
the
it doesn't
person-
look like...
Who has your armor come this way?
Maybe he was heading out. Highly likely. He may
They
have
said
gone
he was
towards
heading to the
mountains.
dwarven mines to the north,
To
so
the-
he would have
to the
kept on
mountains.
going. You guys didn't come across him.
Let's. I see no reason to disturb this party. Let's just go around and keep going.
It doesn't look like it's the backup. I mean...
No, it doesn't look like the Lord's Alliance's
Yes,
army.
No. I'm just saying, I've got, 150 feet of sneak attack murder.
You act. Well,
Well, what
let's.
do we think they are? Like highwaymen who are
What are they
picking
going to
off
give us? A
refugees,
bit of
or-
scrappy leather? Let's go
They're-
around.
Stops a couple of ogres joining the siege.
They're probably just youngs trying to prove themselves.
Then let's go
By
around.
joining the siege
Yeah.
and
You guys
killing
do
more
know
people.
that there are no goblins affiliated with
Yeah,
the
that's
orc
right.
forces,
Alright.
because the orcs of the many arrow clans find the goblin society rather despicable.
So I think
Well,
they're
then-
probably just
This-
highwaymen who are picking off refugees or something like
Well,
that.
That's
maybe
great.
we
We
should
should just
stop
leave
that.
him to do that.
Yes.
But
Wait, was that sarcasm?
I mean,
Yes.
you
Yes, that
probably
was
wouldn't know
sarcasm.
that.
Yeah. Why don't we
Misread
speak
that
with them and find out?
who
If you want, you guys, like a number of us can stay hidden, and then maybe Spear and I, who are the less
'cause I'm
range.
not-
Yeah, because
ostentatious
Spear's
at all.
gonna go and delicately talk with the goblins.
All right, I'll go. Give me.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, you
And
go.
I will disguise myself if necessary.
Can you speak Goblin?
I can't speak Goblin, but I can speak Orc.
Oh, trying to disguise yourself as a very small orc.
Or Big Orc.
They can probably speak
Well-
Undercommon, can't they?
I can speak Undercommon.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
okay.
They probably can speak. They
Alright.
probably can speak Undercommon.
It seems like, well, they're probably going to speak common, and they're probably going to speak goblinoid.
All right, well, you guys hide out here, and if I start screaming like something that's been stuck,
Can I head up for a bet? Are there any better sight lines
Yeah, you
in
can
a
climb a
tree?
tree.
At all? Yep, cool.
I mean, it wouldn't give you much better sightline, to be honest. You're coming down from a hill that the thicket
Oh, okay.
is cresting, so you're looking down into a bit
That's
of a valley.
Saria.
Oh yeah,
We could maybe use the imps.
that's true.
Just like show us what you got.
Yeah, but then these guys don't know we have imps.
did you get built like it?
Oh, they don't know yet.
No, they don't know.
you guys have just like walked away and come back again.
Is this the
you're
worst
thinking
stage
that,
for
and you look to the
history?
ground behind Bernard, and you see a pile of belt buckles. Pins, just pins, like little pins.
That's weird.
It's weird. They're sort of like just lying on the ground. They weren't there a minute ago, but now they're there.
That's odd.
Well, they should be in piles of 10. If the orders are being distracted, right?
What does Thea know? Thea just sees them.
What are those? Did you see those before?
Yeah.
Oh,
Never mind.
well,
They're belt pins.
how many? How many do you need?
Are they 250 in 8 piles of 10?
No more, no less.
Are you melting them down to create some sort of weapon?
It's a hobby.
Okay.
I'm a collector.
All right. Fair enough.
All right. Well, let's go. I'm more concerned about Bernard now, and not because he's evil. I think he's just. It's an odd hobby. It's,
How do you go about getting that many belt pins?
You picked them up in the city? Was there a store?
Belt pins are us.
Yeah, they don't look human-sized belts. They're big pins. Bernard,
Off
did
you
you
go.
want to come?
Yeah,
How are you going to look like an orc? Do you need to even look like an orc?
I don't think so.
Alright, let's just go.
They know me.
No bonfires until I say the word.
If we see a bonfire, we assume things are bad.
It's the secret signal.
Wait for my signal.
The forest burning.
So the two of you are just gonna walk out
Exactly.
Yeah.
as a druid and an archmage.
Mhm.
And the rest of you are waiting in the thicket. The thicket's about 120 feet away from where the...
I'm
That's
totally
120 feet.
doing
is
my
fine
best
for
to
me.
cover
No,
them
that's
because
way
they're gonna
too
need it.
far. 120 feet is going to take me like
120
4
feet.
turns
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
where you are.
What's your
150 for
dexterity?
these short bows.
Not very good.
And
Is it plus
actually, even
one,
in the
plus
second
two?
stage, they go 600.
Yeah.
Plus, I got
plus
spells
one.
that can reach 120
Take a
feet.
short
So
bow.
do I.
It's what you can do while you want.
Right, 2. Yeah.
No, I
So 2 turns. I'll be where you are.
Oh,
Survive that long.
I could shoot with
I'm good. We'll find out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so...
As we walk out, like, hail and well met.
Alright, they don't seem to notice you for the first little while, but as soon as you get to within 60 feet, and they're hey!
Hey,
They got Ogre stands up, picks up a club. The 6 goblins, they're quickly going for weapons.
easy. Just saw you smoke. Thought we'd pop by and say hello.
beat on one of these guys.
I try undercommon. Is that better?
Is there an aim action?
Oh no, they speak common. There's Give us all your things.
Right.
You and the things you're carrying. I want your hat. I want your dick cover.
Classic goblins, really.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can give
Not
you
sure
some
what
food
we're
if you
expecting.
want, but I'm keeping the stuff.
Also food. You give us also food. Yes.
You want some food?
Also, yes,
Well, sit-
and all of your things.
Sit down and have lunch with us.
Stop being
Come
friendly.
sit down with us.
Hey.
Sit down with us.
No.
Yes, come.
Are you with the broken orcs? The broken arrows? What are you doing even here?
You're going to start talking in goblinoid amongst themselves.
You're in a dangerous
here.
part of the world to be making threats to people you don't even know.
It's not actually wrong.
Have you not even heard? You don't even recognize archmages.
Oh my god.
I want his codpiece.
Were they just going to walk down and pick a fight? Because that seems to be what happened.
Okay.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't know what else we
Been shooting
expected
already.
when we sent them.
I could have killed like
They seem confused.
Like,
And
it's not
then-
works.
3 of them?
An ogre, one of the ogres, walks up.
Oh, can we
To within
see
5
all
feet.
this,
Yeah,
right?
just tell me if you want to do it.
I'm
I
gonna
am.
No, I'm
as soon as that
hiding.
ogre is twitching towards any form of club, I'm going to
Yeah,
kill him.
I hold my action.
Well, he's holding a club
Yeah.
and he walks towards Bernard.
If
He's within 5 feet of Bernard. Okay.
I'm hidden. I got like 30 on my hide roll,
Yes, I understand.
so I'll shoot him.
It's not attacked
Why? Why would you shoot on
What
a
are you
friend?
doing? Nothing's happened.
Okay,
Nothing has happened.
I would like everybody to roll group initiative.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it's alright. I'm sure you'll all roll higher than 5.
Just.
So, you all get to act after Haral's surprise round.
God damn it,
Surprise!
Next time we take the bow away from
No, we're under attack with these goblins. Let's hide behind my bonfire and repel the attackers.
15 on the first shot.
Into the ogre?
Yeah.
Okay. Like
So he's within
sticks
5
out of his
feet. You
head.
just took this.
I was hidden.
Yeah, but you're like...
He cops it anyway.
Oh, he was copping sneak anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Are there more of you guys around here?
And then everybody goes. So, who would like to go first? You're all acting equally, essentially.
I'll
Oh,
go
cool.
first.
What will you do, Sophia?
This all went so pear-shaped, so quick. I didn't think this was going to be a problem.
Guiding bolt
At
at any big target.
the ogre that's closest, or the other
The
two
one
that are
that's
still standing
injured.
behind, or the 6 goblins that are kind of circling
The one that's
them?
injured already, or is it dead?
No, it's just
No.
been injured.
Yeah,
It's an
I'll
ogre.
guiding bolt that
Funny.
one. At 13 to hit.
Alright, yeah, that's not quite gonna hit the ogre.
All right.
It bounces off some wooden armor that it's got strapped to itself.
Cool. Then I don't do anything.
I look quizzically at your perfectly good, awesome composite bow.
Look.
And your pointy ears. And I don't want to make racial judgments or anything.
But elves are premature. That is what we've learned today. I don't want to make a racial judgment, but they're twitchy-fingered and
Well,
premature.
Peral, do you want to show them how it's done?
Yeah, I'll shoot that same one in the head again. I presume I'm still hidden.
Yeah. Well, you expose yourself from hiding when you took the shot, but you take your bonus action to hide
Yeah,
again.
and I will use lucky on that shot. That's better. That's another 20 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
It hits.
17.
Oh, Lord.
Wow. There you go. Cool. Well, do a bunch of damage to it.
It's gone round.
We're now facing an army.
Yeah. A mini army.
Could have just had a chat.
Yeah, I am a bit surprised.
You didn't even
And Thea,
go to swing it anyway.
Right. How close are we? Where we were hiding?
you are 120 feet away, hiding in a thicket.
Well, I got a long way to go. I don't have anything that's going to be able to get to that
60,
quickly. Yeah, it's like 60
So you're
feet. or
gonna-
something.
Although you can throw at maximum range without any penalty.
Yeah, but it's still where like.
It's still
120 feet.
60 feet away.
Yeah, still. So I'm probably just going to have to go closer.
Okay. So you're gonna dash, or are you just gonna walk? Dash will take you about halfway.
So
Yeah.
at this point, they're all hidden, right?
We're all still hidden.
Yeah.
Maybe I
So
should
you're
just
about
get
to be
hidden.
the first person
Yeah,
to break
probably better
that.
off hiding.
Just hang out.
All right, yep, hide.
Alright,
Look
cool.
at us go. Maybe I can hold my action
Me?
and stay hidden.
You're right
I
there. There's an ogre standing above you, right next to you.
I scream.
Whoa!
I cast a bonfire in front of us, me and the ogre, and I scream to it, "Take cover! We're under attack!" And then I try and sort of scream out some orders to the goblins about form up into a rack and take a thing.
Okay, first make a
Stand
persuasion
behind
roll
each other
or
neatly,
deception
so
roll,
if anyone
please.
goes through, it'll go through to the person behind you.
15 plus 1 is 16.
Awesome. So
Exactly.
they the goblins, yeah, they're like, and the goblins sort of are a bit confused, but try and like ready themselves again. What direction are you pointing in?
The direction where the attacks are coming from.
Alright, cool. They start readying themselves and pulling out bows, and the ogre sort of like stands protectively next to you and the other two ogres.
Yeah, but I'm trying to crouch behind my bonfire whilst doing all of this.
Yeah.
Like it's all. That's my turn.
Spear.
I run 60 feet.
Oh, spear. Beautiful, beautiful spear. Your noble heart.
Beautiful, noble, martial.
All right.
I'm not sure what any of you expected.
No, we didn't expect anything else. We were happy it's awesome.
So, two of the goblins rush out to. Two of the goblins and one of the ogres rush up to attack you.
Me?
Yeah. It's not the one who you were directly talking to, though.
You weren't all convinced, just some of them.
And they... and they just swing
Hang
at
on,
you.
is an ogre swinging at me?
Yeah.
I'm going to portent before you even roll both of those swings from the ogres.
One ogre, well, he does swing at you twice, yes.
Oh, the ogre swings twice.
The ogre swings twice,
Oh.
and the goblin swings once each.
All right, I'll accept the goblin rolls, but I don't want to be touched by an ogre.
All right, well, the goblin hits you.
Where did he touch you?
He hit
Show
me.
me on this doll.
Well, he got a 17
That's probably not enough. It's absolutely not enough.
because
Because mage armor and shield will take me to 20 AC.
When did you guys meet?
Well, it starts at the beginning of the day, AC.
Ah,
And
beginning
then,
of the day.
well, when we left the
Every
tunnel.
morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And shield reaction when you are hit by an attack.
okay, so you cast shield as a reaction. Yes,
5 AC bonus, which will take it to 20.
awesome. So
So
the
that
goblin
first one misses.
misses, and then you use the portents on the ogre strikes, which are
Which are 8s.
cool. Which is 12s. Which is not enough to hit you with the shield
With
up in the
without
same
shield,
turn.
yeah.
Even without shield. So, roar, the little halfling like ducks around as the ogre swings. Like dust starts and dirt start pounding up from the ground, where the ogre's club just thunders into the floor. These other 4 guys have drawn bows, and they all just fire at the shiniest target around, which is spear.
Woo!
So I have 120. Is that going to hit you?
I have an armor class of 20, so is that yes?
That is just yes. However, it only does 4 points of damage.
Fantastic. 4 points of damage.
So I was looking for when I ran towards them.
And this other ogre sees you, and so one of the ogres, the other 2 ogres that aren't engaging with Bernard now move towards you, between Bernard and you, and the goblins kind of stay back, being a bit dodgy. So they get to within 10 feet of you this round, but are unable to act.
Cool.
Yes.
So who hit young Bernard?
No one's hit me yet.
2
Oh,
goblins.
did someone try to?
Charlie.
Oh, there's
fucking-
many. There's a little cluster around me.
I'm assuming you are standing within 5 feet of Bernard.
I am.
Yep, so I'm going to say you were just a little bit back, and so they ran up to attack Bernard first.
You are a much softer looking, or harder looking target.
Fighting these guys.
It shouldn't take long.
Theoretically.
I am going to cast Shillelagh.
Mm-hmm.
Run up to next to Bernard
Mm-hmm.
and beat one of those little goblins.
Alright.
Dunk.
Make attack.
I'm like, leave him alone, we're on your side. That's a 19 on the die, so that's going to hit.
Okay, and make a persuasion roll as well when you get a chance.
That is 15. 58.
Yeah, take this one.
Thanks.
Alright, you're definitely confusing them, because many of them are not attacking you and Bernard, but they're all, the ones who aren't are looking to spear to see that she's a threat.
That is 10 bludgeoning damage.
Yep, the goblin is knocked back a little bit, looks disgruntled and surprised at the appearance of the shillelagh, and genuinely offended because he thought you were friends.
Boy, he tried to attack my friend.
Yeah, but then you just told him you were friends.
Yeah, I'm like beating him back. Like, get away,
Cool, cool,
you
yeah.
bastard.
Thanks, Ned. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Saya.
I'm gonna use my bow
Good choice.
at whatever looks at the orc with arrows out of his head.
Ogre.
Okay, sorry. No, that's 11.
Jeez, you just have such bad luck today. Do you want some
That's
I even
it?
changed dice. I
was
changed
gonna
dice.
say, you
I'll change dice again.
Is that guiding bolt still active?
No, because it didn't hit.
Oh, that's right. You
So-
missed.
It guided it to a miss.
Alright.
She's still using it.
I'm gonna plug that same ogre again
Uh-huh.
persistently. I'll take that one. That'll be 22 to hit it.
And I'm just assuming you're using your bonus action to continue to hide every turn.
18 damage.
Alright, cool. It is significantly damaged.
And I'm hiding again.
It's like, oh, this one's like gone into its neck, and it's it's pretty upset about it.
I'm going to try and dash around the side of this little thing, melee, while trying to stay hidden to get closer, but not to draw attention to myself. So using some stealth potentially. 16.
Yep.
That's my stealth. That's my action. Moving close. Because I don't think I can get there close
Yeah,
enough
yep.
to
So
do anything
you
else.
dash 60 feet, you're now within 60. Well, actually, you're within 30 feet of them.
Can I move
Sorry,
and
give
do
me
an
1
action?
second.
You can
guys.
move and do an action. You can't dash and do an action. But if you can move 30 feet and be within 60 feet range,
Yeah, but I just
then you're
dashed
good.
to get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this.
so
Yeah,
you
so that's
don't-
it. That's undone.
Yeah,
Next
you should be
round.
pretty close to them because they've come close to me. So, and I've already dashed 60 feet. So.
That means I'm done.
then start knife and forking
We're just
them.
waiting for him.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. My success rate on knifing and forking is not as that's good.
Alright,
Use your
so
bonus shots.
you have taken a shot. You've run.
Around the side.
Bernard, you're in the thick of it.
And you
Dirt flies up from the ground as clubs just...
Yeah, I scream at him and the goblin that you've just thrown. Stop squabbling amongst yourselves! That's how the humans win! Stop that paladin! And I cast the bonfire at the direction of the paladin to halt their advance, but putting it underneath the square of that injured guy.
Ooh, clever.
Give me another deception roll, please.
Yep, that's D8 damage.
My
It's
brain is
pretty
either
solid.
hearing
That's a
the
13
theme to
deception.
curb your enthusiasm or yakety sax.
And the damage from the bonfire will be
Ooh.
3 on the D8. If he fails his saving throw, jump out of the way. It's a dex.
Fail his saving throw. Alright, cool. So, fire goes on underneath him. Spear.
I am going to pray to Bahamut. Drawing out my sword, which will now be lit radiantly,
Yep.
and dodge.
Okay, for yourself, obviously. Okay, cool.
So it should do 4 radiant damage to anyone
Yeah.
within 5 feet of me.
Yeah, that's right.
If they enter it. And anyone who's
Are you
going to
run to within 5? You're currently like 10 feet away from them. Do you want to run to within 5 feet?
I'll run the 5 feet forward
Well, you
first.
step
I'll get
forwards.
within range. I'll step
You take a
broadly
giant
forward.
step.
And
then
then start
light it up.
glittering.
Alright, they
Since
both
everyone's aiming
look
at
at the
me.
sword. They said the
May
sword
well.
comes out, a radiant red glow starts glowing around it, and they both, and they start actually stepping away from you. Apparently in fear of the bonfire, of the sword. And then these goblins, this goblin's like, ah! And makes a run for it.
Is this the one that was attacking me?
Yes, so Bernard and Gus can both make attacks of opportunity if you like. He runs to join the group.
Guys.
This ogre didn't get the memo, but this other goblin like sees what's happening. He's like, "Whoa, let's get out of here!" But this ogre is very frustrated with the halfling. He's just like, "Ah, halfling!" All right, so 13's the highest of 2 rolls.
Nope, that's not going to do it.
Calm down, buddy.
Flies up.
You're just embarrassing yourself.
These guys are grabbing what they can from the pile. It looks like they're planning to escape as quickly as possible. And these guys are just backing off and then seeing this going on, and are also kind of backing off in this direction. And just staying away from you as you calmly draw your sword and walk towards them. Gus, what are you doing?
Charlie, just finish him off.
Directing them to attack Spear, apparently.
I like. Fuck it. Just everyone calm down. We can do this. I'm like, just point at the ogre. I'm like, stop hitting him.
Make a persuasion roll.
Really? Because I'm about to scream, they're too strong, run.
That will be a 23.
Stop hitting him.
Okay, so...
Yeah, just like, I'm gonna
Form up, you cowards.
Sorry?
No time to charm.
Oh my god, more murder.
What are you shooting?
That same ogre. 19.
Hey!
Calm down the ogre. Let's enrage it again.
It hits.
Hey.
Did you kill it?
Thank you. Oh, I want my nice to do.
XP.
Ogres have a lot of hit points, just saying.
It does feel like
Yeah.
It takes 9, but I'm also going to use my channel divinity.
Uh-huh.
So it takes a further 13 necrotic. So it takes
13?
Yeah, 22.
Holy fuck.
The bolt goes straight through its eye into its brain. It sort of hits on its heels, starts wavering back and forwards a little bit, takes 2 more steps backwards, goes to kind of raise its club in defense, stops, shakes its head around as this bright blue bolt just its eye socket is just burning, and then it burns through its skull and starts shooting blue radiant or purple radiant energy out of the other of its eye sockets as its eyeball just boils, pops, and bubbles down its face. And then it sort of looks to the sky blindly before slumping to a knee, to an arm, and then slowly, ponderously rolling onto the grasses.
I pull out another arrow, like twirl it, notch it, and kind of like look at Pharrell.
Yeah, see?
Like, yeah.
It's coming back to you just like finishing school.
These two are a problem.
Actually, I'm starting to sense a theme. So anytime it's you, it's
Yes, that's it.
They gibber in Goblin to each other, and as soon as this ogre sees it, the rest of them just break into a full rout. They are brigands. They do not want to fight.
I'm going to
divine
murder some goblins as
casters.
they're running away.
Sorry?
I'm going to murder as many goblins as I can as they're running away, because they should only be 1 shot each.
You managed to take down a couple.
Good.
As they leave, and it made them city. They grabbed a bunch of stuff on their way out, but there are still a lot of things in piles. Just supplies. Looks like there's some ale.
Oh.
Sheets of meat.
See, look who's Mr.
So now
Judgy
we know
now.
our most effective strategy as a party. Send these 2 in to distract them. Have you guys shoot them from cover while I draw all of their fire.
And I do nothing.
I
Oh, the
thought,
threat.
I thought this was already our agreed tactic.
But I can write a great story about it afterwards. So yeah, that's nice.
Then you tell our story to everyone.
The most surprising
And the
thing is
Archmage
that
went
that
in and the
wand is still in
bonfire
that
was under
sheath.
their feet. Anyway. Well done.
You didn't even use your roll to wonder.
I didn't know. No, I barely got my signal out.
Yeah, what signal do you think happened, Pharrell?
He was totally about to take your head off. My keen elven eyes could see that
It
twitching
did
going
very
on
much
in the
look
club
like
hand.
he was about
I
to
whispered
wallop
Dude, he
the
took
halfling.
6
My
swings
imp
at me and missed.
to like
After
chase
he
up
shot
any, like have as much fun as you want with any of the remnants.
I do your imp apart. So your imp first it appears, and you know that because it's still invisible, but it's sense it, and then it just you hear a brief chuckle, and you feel a lick up your latest scar. Before disappearing.
I'm going to start sifting through the supplies if there's anything that's going to be useful for us.
Or any
You know,
indication of
considered
where
just hitting
what
off
they were
Tinder?
about. It seems like they were highwaymen.
So make an investigation roll as you examine the goods that are there.
Woo, 13.
17.
13.
9.
I'm busy with the ale.
You're investigating.
As you examine the goods, it really does just seem like farm goods. There's like barrels of apples, there's bags of wheat, barley, there's some bolts of cloth, just bits and pieces, tools, miscellaneous stuff. There's a whole barrel of just miscellaneous iron pieces. Who scored the highest?
I got a 13.
17. Yeah, that's me.
You find a couple of small idols, one to Maliki, one to Bahamut. They're both in silver. They're probably worth about 10 silver each.
Great.
So
Well,
1 gold.
See, look, these things were a parasite. They've clearly cleaned out some vulnerable villagers. We should have killed them all. Anyway, let's go.
They had no.
You say, looking at the bodies of the 3 goblins that are left behind.
I used the soul of somebody already dead, and this is a problem.
Yeah.
And you're
Pardon what?
advocating
What? Hey, we didn't
What?
do any of that.
whole.
Yeah, this is live. This happens. No fucking tabletop
you know,
here.
with the,
I just like prod
with
the
the
chug. I'm
nightmare.
like,
you know, with the
Make a deception roll, please. Everyone else can make an insight roll.
oh, that's a natural 20 on my die.
Yeah.
I just like look over the jug. I'm just like,
That's a 22.
It's 11.
It's not a natural.
I don't know anything.
what did you say,
What did you get on your deception?
Bernard?
12.
Okay, well, everyone who exceeds
What
12
about
on their
you?
roll.
What's your deception check for not flinching suddenly?
No, the attention is not on Saga
Yeah.
right
Sure.
I don't know. Somebody's
Clean as a
attention's
fucking
always on
whistle,
side.
Unlikely.
That's you, though.
Yeah.
Bernard,
And I got a 22.
Bernard,
What's up?
sit down with me and
What are
this
we talking
apple and talk to me about this.
There are still some fires there. A couple of gamey birds seem to be overcooked, rotating.
Oh, that is the biggest crime of all.
Oh, soul. Soul.
What about it?
The soul you used.
No,
Not
an
for
already
the
dead
night.
person?
No, you didn't, Bernard. What's going on?
oh, you big, beautiful insult. I hold you by your face. I go, there's just some things you're just not ready for. And then I walk.
I think we should keep moving.
We should keep moving.
Yeah, I think we should.
Anyway,
keep
we've got to
moving.
go. Yes, I agree. Let's keep moving.
Eyes
Alright.
and ears sharp, people.
Mm-hmm. Let's avoid the next camp.
I take a bunch of apples.
There are supplies here if you want to carry a few extra things. You can load up with 6 or 7 days rations. If you
That
haven't
sounds
already
great.
Yeah,
done
yeah,
so.
that's good.
That's each. You're easily able to get it, even if it's just like the barley meal. You can grind that into a porridge very easily. It'll save you having to spend time foraging in the wilderness
Oh,
for food, which you're actually perfectly capable of doing. It's just the amount of time you'll save.
Also,
having
we've got
stuff.
these delicious mushrooms. 1 day's meal at a hit point.
You're like a hydroponic garden.
I am. I'm
Moving.
very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But just eating one mushroom a day doesn't really do good things for my belly. So I
All right.
Druidoponic.
That's-
So you
that's
continue
cheese.
moving into the evening. You're able to look out for and avoid various orc groups by maintaining your vigilance and by avoiding the mountains and by staying away from the river. Anytime you stray too close to the river, you tend to see small groups of young orc advanced party or raiders just walking around, and it's pretty easy for a small group like yourselves to avoid them. All of this activity seems to have pushed any larger creatures away from into hiding, as it were, so you don't seem to encounter anything, because if there are large creatures out there, it's just as likely they would have been conscripted into being beasts of burden or biological weapons to be used in the coming conflict. Just all rounded up and thrown. This is a reasonably populated area and a reasonably well-traveled route. On your 3rd day traveling, you have definitely passed the 10-mile mark. Oh, sorry, by the end of your 2nd day traveling, let's say, you passed 10 miles within the 1st day, but you're still being very cautious, and it took you the time to really get away from them. The orcs that were still out there, and really circumnavigate them. But you come to the end of your 2nd day, and is this a point where you decide to turn towards the river? Or do you want to keep going overland through the thickets along the mountains?
I'd support a river excursion.
How much quicker will the river be?
A fair amount if you turn
5
into
to 10 times
a
quicker.
giant tuna and pull us along.
It's
How would
downstream.
the army
It's
be coming?
Yeah, we
downstream
need to make
in
sure
the
we
spring.
run into the army.
So all of the flow
Well-
is very rapid.
Will we see the army from the river?
The army was coming down
The road that goes parallel to the river, so
Okay.
you
I
will
presume
definitely
an
they will
army is
definitely
pretty
travel
visible.
along the river because
They're
they'll need to
pretty
water
loud
themselves.
and- yeah.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
So
Ha-
that morning, sorry, I need to make. Are you gonna make spear? Sorry,
So
Another night?
confusing! It's so confusing!
Another night? More
spear.
important?
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
DC 12. Oh, sorry, DC 13.
Wait.
3.
It's the cheese.
20.
Damn.
It's the first 20 I've rolled in a
So
while.
you feel very, very ill. You take... Oh, that's not the right one. You take 4 points of damage
Jesus.
as you get a series of stomach cramps in the morning after you've taken some breakfast. And you experience nausea and vomiting.
Okay. Does everyone else notice that I'm quite
Yeah, are you okay?
You look like shit.
I'll do my little medicine.
Yeah, give me a medicine roll.
Pokery.
Yes, you do the medicine roll.
Well, that's a 23.
Well, you know, if we had a healer in the group.
It's a 16. That's solid.
She's been poisoned.
Oh,
You did get hit.
hell?
Because you did get hit. You
No.
took 4 points of damage from one of the.
Oh, yeah.
For a bow.
Right.
But that was like a day ago.
Yeah.
So is
Yeah,
it
you-
the food?
you've got a bit of poison here going on.
Just
Is anyone
warn
else
yourself.
feeling okay?
Does everyone want to put their rations in a pile and I'll purify food and drink?
I also have the unicorn horn that can do that for a charge if you don't want to burn.
Well, I can do it for a ritual, so stop taking my job.
We don't have 10 minutes for that. Come on. Let's get it done. Let a professional do it.
But could you not detect the poison first to see?
Yeah,
if it's
actually,
worthwhile?
I'll detect poison.
Okay. You detect poison, and you cast the spell or do a ritual.
I'll do the ritual.
Okay. So you take the time, do the ritual, and look around.
You're doing
and,
the purify.
Just
you
a minute
notice
after
that
you.
Spear's water canister has been poisoned.
What?
And you smell it,
Oh.
look at it, and it seems to be like a odorless poison, but the symptoms seem almost identical to the poison that you were all carrying.
Did someone? Okay, no, I can't say that out loud because my character wouldn't know that.
I mean, I know what's
but
happened.
I know what's happened too.
I do.
How could this have possibly come back
happened.
and
I don't
hit
know.
us already?
I don't understand. I'm just like, oh, this is tainted water.
How did my water get to
You don't know
No,
about me.
I was just squinting all over.
Maybe it
all
was
of mine are
scratchy,
accounted for.
like in the
Pardon?
town.
All of mine are accounted for.
You've been drinking from this water
Yeah.
bottle for the last few days. The last time you
It's,
filled it up, you actually haven't filled it up because you just resupplied on rations from the goblin camp, and you've been drinking from it for the last few days without having any issues.
So
Does everyone have their arrows?
What arrows?
The poison arrows.
They're not poison
Oh, no,
arrows,
sorry, the
they're
doses of poison.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got.
I've got mine.
Who's
I've got
missing?
2 doses.
I'm.
You've got yours.
Presumably.
Bernard, you've got yours.
No, I got rid of mine ages ago. Back
On
in
what?
town.
Make that lie.
No, I did get rid of it ages ago in town.
Yeah, it's a lie of dodginess though.
No, it's not.
It's
100% the truth.
it's more of an insight roll than a.
Well, all right. Well, we know it's poison. So
Do I believe
We
him?
need
That's
to.
another natural 20.
He's a lion.
Damn.
You know that I'm not.
No,
Yeah,
that
but if
he's
he's
hiding
make
something.
insight.
Druid
Inside.
Columba.
Are you hiding something?
Not at
Yeah,
all.
because he gave it to the imp.
You did go. I mean, yeah. I know.
That
To
I
do
know
something
nothing
else.
To do something else. Back in town days ago.
Yeah, it's not technically lying. I
That's-
don't think you can use that.
It's a bit of a mad
As-
stretch for you to assume that just because the symptoms are the same, it's necessarily
Well,
the same.
No,
Now
no,
we
no,
know
no,
that
no,
it's
no,
poison.
the-
I think we
The
need to
detect
cure
poison
you.
literally tells me it's the exact same poison.
It's
Oh.
true.
Yeah, detect poison tells
Oh
me what
shit,
poison
does
it
it?
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh, that's interesting.
That's why I'm
Um,
like, oh, it's this poison.
Does
But
everyone
like
want
I'm
to
saying,
put
this
their
poison is a common thing, right?
canisters?
That's
So
idea.
I'm going
Exactly
to.
my point.
Does the unicorn horn cleanses me as well, doesn't it? Doesn't
Yeah.
it cure? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You know, give myself a shot of.
Give yourself a
unicorn.
nasal spray with the.
Magic. Gonna
Mhm.
magic myself.
Yeah.
Healthy.
yeah.
Yeah. And also, I guess,
We need to get rid of
purify my canister.
Yeah.
I will do that
Oh.
because I started a minute after him. So
Okay. Off you go. And be very deeply confused about who could have poisoned me and to what end. Who would do that?
What did you do with your poison, Bernard?
Hmm?
What did you do with your poison?
What did I do with
Who
it?
did
Yeah.
you poison in town?
Well, I gave it to somebody with an instruction that it was to go to the orcs. I haven't had my poison in days. Like literally 3 to 4 days.
Who were you working
Were they just gonna throw it off the wall?
We checked the
Seems
levels of the
suboptimal
other
at best.
poison containers. Nothing's been siphoned.
Do you not know how to deal with subcontractors?
No.
Don't ask for
They're all
details.
looking full aside from.
I just feel like you got ripped off at least one vial of pretty good poison and whatever money you got Saria to spend on it.
Spend on what?
Subcontracting this out.
Oh,
Why do you
there's no money
think
spent.
I had anything to do with it?
You handle his finances.
Oh, actually, that's true. I do.
Hey, pro tip for you, Peril. Not everything revolves around money, buddy.
Please. Even if money's not changing hands, money is behind everything. Enormous stacks of it.
So I imagine Spear is feeling deeply confused about whether she should be mistrusting her own party at this point, given that she's recently had someone attempt to take her life
In the last day.
in the last day,
And we've
and the
not-
only people I've been around are all of you.
Do we think that maybe Jenks is tracking me down and has tried to poison my water bottle and ended up being yours? Because we know that he was looking
But we
to...
haven't spotted anyone.
No, that's
Presumably,
And
Jenks
with
and
your abilities in this terrain, I would have thought we'd
Jenks and
know
Myrtle
if
should
anyone
still
I
be
had
haven't,
heard
I haven't
about
noticed
cats.
anyone around. Sorry, you okay?
No, I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm fine.
You sound fine.
Do I believe her when she says
That's
that?
wrong.
Spear, who right now is getting quite a lot of conflict. So that's a 17.
You can make
No,
a
I am
perception.
legit fine.
Yeah, you are legit fine. So it's just an insight roll. And she definitely seems evasive. She doesn't
Well,
seem like
I
she's
guess
lying.
At the moment, I'm suspicious, right? I'm suspicious of
everyone.
everyone. Which is kind of upsetting because I actually really like all of you
I
guys.
really like all of you guys.
And now I'm feeling a bit confused.
Look,
About
hug it
whether-
out. Hug it out.
Well, I
We're
mean,
not going to
I'm
find the
just-
answer now.
Let's keep moving. We
I'll
can
just
stop and we can talk about this
detect
at camp.
poison each morning and see what's going on.
Okay.
That's probably a good idea.
Do
And
it.
and if you want, you can
Take
share what I
poison right
drink.
now. Where's the poison? Find
Well,
out where
I've-
the poison is now.
Well, it was
Well,
in.
It was
Well,
in
we've
you've
got our
already done the egg
vials.
poison.
But it's
Everybody-
only in her water bottle.
That is correct.
There's no other extra vials that you've got currently in possession.
Well, they have
Aside
vials.
from-
Well,
They have the vials
apart
that we
from
were
all of
carrying
ours,
already.
like
Yeah.
a spear, if you're happily, like I'm happy to give you mine if you like.
Mind you, you are taking August's word for it.
Yeah.
He's the one doing the detect poison.
I
Yeah.
presume he's telling us the truth.
Everyone should turn in their poison vials. Come on, turn them in. Turn them in.
Yes, I will hold those
Turn
poison
'em in.
vials.
The
Well,
other
hold on,
thing
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
strikes
Why are you holding
you,
the poison vials? I think Spear should.
Oh, okay.
Spear, and you, Gus, well, particularly you, is the idea that once upon a time, not so long ago, you were in a place where people were imperceptibly turned
Mm,
to serve another motive,
mm.
apart from
Yeah.
very subtle variations.
There's a lot of reasons why she would be pretty disturbed right now. Like, there's like a...
Well, the only person we can trust right now is Spear.
Yeah. So here's all of the poison vials, Spear.
Well, you wouldn't have poisoned yourself,
But how do I... Like,
so clearly you're not the poisoner.
I don't know if I want your poison vial.
Oh my god, she poisoned herself! What is going on?
Should
Well,
we
like
just get
Spear,
rid of
I
them?
can give this to Gus as well. But like,
Okay.
if you,
I mean,
who do you trust the most? Who do you want to look after the poison?
Boom, there's a bonfire. Just chuck the poison in
Let's
the
get rid of
bonfire.
them.
Hand over this
I
Wait,
think
what
the
are we even
issue
using
here
it
is
for?
that if I
Thank
can't
you.
trust any of you, all of your plans to save me are not particularly convincing because they could be part of whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Do we all need to check
kill me?
for?
Like someone just tried to
That
kill me.
undead thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
should
do
we
your-
all do a little checky check?
Somebody did just try
I
to
think
kill you, right?
I'm going
Just
to
on
cast.
everyone.
Somebody did just try to
I'm
kill
going
you.
to cast detect good and evil. At this
Spear
point.
steps back, draws a holy sign, and take 2 paces away from all of you, draws a holy sign in the air, and then starts scanning the group. You've seen her do this before. You know exactly what she's doing. No one's undead. But, what are you doing? Detect good and evil?
Yeah, so it shows.
Undead, fiends,
undead.
demons, and basically celestials, any
It'll
extra
find the imps.
player.
It'll
It
definitely
will
work.
find
Yes.
imps.
There are 2
Yeah.
devilish presences
Okay.
that you cannot see unless does it allow you to see them?
It allows me to
Text this.
detect.
Are they
them.
immaterial or are they
No,
just
they're
invisible?
invisible.
Just invisible.
Hmm.
And they are amongst your group.
Okay. Yeah, I know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental,
Well, let me just
Fey,
see.
fiend, or
if
undead.
they're- Oh no, they
Within
were both
30
here
feet
because
of
you guys
you.
both had them ready for the
whether
fight,
where
right?
it's located.
I
Well,
then
she sent
sent
hers
mine off
away,
to-
and mine was dispelled, so I don't know if he
Kill
came
off
back to skulk, but I didn't have him around. But
There's a chance he came back to Skull. He did come back to Skull. Yours was sent away to hassle the... Yeah. So there's one entity somewhere.
Okay.
Pass me some of that flour.
Do we know this?
So
Has she told us this though? We
no,
don't
I
know this.
will announce this though. I detect that there's some kind of...
The moment you say that, it disappears.
Okay. And it knew that I found it.
Detected what?
Some kind of fiend in the area, like a small evil presence. Just over there. I know exactly where it is. If I can...
Exactly?
If it's 30 feet, if it's within 30 feet of me, then I know exactly where it is.
Oh, it was literally at Bernard's feet, and then it disappeared.
There was a creature right at your feet. Some kind of evil.
Oh.
Some kind of fiend.
Ah. Okay. I think I know what's going on.
Did it come with us from the tunnels?
What's going on, Bert?
Well, I think I know.
What do you think it is?
It could possibly be a small evil creature summoned by something I did.
Now, I may be a little...
An imp, I think. I think it's an imp. They're not really dangerous. Don't worry about that.
They're not really dangerous, but it
Ref-
tried to poison in my
If
water?
you try to poison Spear,
Well, we assume that that's what.
What
was
did you
doing
do
it.
that may have summoned an imp?
Did you, for instance, summon an imp?
With potentially...
Did you guys tell these people that you deciphered the texts?
No.
Yeah. No,
I don't
No.
know, did we?
Did you? Did you
you
share
some
that
Yeah, I
information?
thought we all shared.
Oh,
I
true.
thought they
during
knew that
week.
Yes,
we
yes, you
shared,
have.
yeah.
What we've been doing that
Okay,
week.
cool.
So
Yes, so
But I
we
don't
can
think
assume
knew
that you know
exactly
that much.
all of the things that were in the text.
no, we don't know everything. We just know that they deciphered the text.
Yeah, because we saw your montage.
So you were practicing with that book? Is that what was happening? What's going on here? Saya, do you know what's going on?
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Saya, Bernard's best friend. Do you
Deception.
know what's going on?
Deception.
Oh.
No, not at all.
Are you going to tell us what's going on?
Okay, I'll tell you what's going on.
I'll answer any specifically asked question, but you know,
Did you
like,
You just tell us what's
specifically,
going on,
Sarah,
Saya?
what's going on?
Why did you summon an imp?
We read a book
to help.
To help with what?
and we figured out how to summon an imp.
So you
And?
decided to summon imp?
What?
No, that is not correct. We did not summon
What,
an imp.
what was the ritual?
To
We
Summon an imp.
Two imps, yeah.
it,
I know.
it involved
I know.
it
Spear
involved a
doesn't.
corpse.
She's too naive.
I know what it takes to make a nightmare. I know what nightmares run on.
You take a corpse, you take a dagger, you stab the dagger into a corpse, a fresh corpse, and then you feed it, and then, well, you tempt it out, and then essentially it gives you its true name, and it, you take a limb, and then it belongs to you.
Did this
What do you
happen?
feed it? The flesh of the corpse?
The heart, the stabbed heart.
So all it is flesh.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes, Gus. The book is very clear.
Can I see this?
Sure, have a look at the book.
Do I believe all of the
Read
things
your
that
book,
say?
buddy. Read the cryptic cipher book that took me a week to decipher.
I don't know, the way you're kind of waving it and rubbing it in his face means
May I take a look at this
So-
book?
indicates you're not entirely
I take
telling
the
Hold on,
book.
hold on.
No.
If he tries to destroy it, I'm gonna like,
Feed it to Charlie.
I'm gonna push
It will
him.
be a PvP throwdown if you do that.
It's everyone needs to roll initiative right now.
Good grief.
And the cards are right in front of you, so just spread them
Okay.
amongst each other.
I'm 18.
17.
I'm
19.
16.
Are we going down?
Hold on. Who's
Ace down, or?
So yeah, so who's 20 or above?
So we're gonna start from Bernard holding the book and Gus going to take the books. Everyone knows what's happening at that point.
Okay, 20 and above. 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
18. 17.
17.
I'm 18.
18.
I'm 17, but you should get the one before me.
Are we going backwards?
17, 16,
Yes, we're going
15,
back.
We're going backwards.
14.
Alright, cool. So we
I'm
start
15.
with 6.
I think I'm
Yeah.
on the stage.
What are you doing, Spear? Bernard holds out the book. Gus is about to take the book.
No, where is he? He's about here. Oh, sorry, I'm just reaching up here.
What are you doing, Spear?
Hold on. Damn it. I don't feel like that will work. So you have the book?
No, I am currently in the slow-mo process of taking
grab
the
the
book
book.
from Bernard.
Yeah, so Bernard's holding it out. He's about to grab it.
Okay, I'm gonna try using my command spell to tell him to drop the book.
Bernard? Bernard?
Bernard, drop the book.
Make a DC... It's a wisdom saving throw, yeah?
Wisdom
What is
saving
it?
throw. Wisdom saving throw.
DC your spellcasting level, which is plus your
I'm
wisdom.
not going to be stopped by my roll.
What'd you roll?
A 16 on the die.
Okay.
Plus whatever proficiency.
You know that Bernard is resisting. You know that she's casting a spell on you.
To drop the book.
Yeah.
Well, using command, yeah.
Just shouting.
Yeah.
Really
I'm just
well.
being a paladin about it.
5.
Well, I can only drop it on my turn anyway.
That's
so.
right. So, but you turn to look at it. Is there anything else you're doing? That's it. Yeah.
I take the book.
Okay. You've got the book.
I have the book.
You're letting him take the book. Yes.
Yeah.
So he's got his
I'll let him
hand
take the
on it.
book.
You're letting him take it. You let go. So you have it. Yes.
Well, I guess it's like a bonus action.
Yes. And then.
And then I'm going to open the book.
Okay. Excellent.
As I hold it in both hands I'm like,
4.
Right. Jeez. I'm gonna reach in
Uh huh.
and palm a gem and hold an action.
Okay. Awesome. 2.
That's me. right?
No.
Isn't it?
Hold an action to do what?
Oh, fire it if some people start diving for a book.
3.
Fire what?
3.
Oh, can I detect your thoughts? Would you feel offended if I did that?
Well, that's mental, but go ahead.
This is why I'm asking for consent.
No.
Okay.
Make me do the what Will said.
Well, I don't want to have to do that. I just want you to answer questions honestly. Did you intend for the poison?
So are you
to-
asking a question or are you forcing me to compel him to answer?
Oh, it's easier.
See,
if you
these are the
answer
sort of
You don't
questions
have
that
time
just
to
kind of
ask
answer
him what are you doing.
themselves.
This is the
No,
big
right.
rounds.
Well, you said no, and I'm going to wait just to see how this all pans out then.
2.
you.
No, then I think Bernard goes before me.
All right.
Well, I rolled a 12.
Oh, I go before you.
Yeah.
I ready in action
2.
to as
If
on
he
the
tried, yeah.
trigger of anyone trying to harm that book
Okay.
to snatch it.
Mexican steak.
Bernard. What are you doing?
I ask Spear. What's going on?
Are we gonna have this conversation again?
You're next, so you can do what you want.
Am I next?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I am somewhat upset right now. I was almost killed, and you have been meddling with fiends without talking to any of us.
Well,
so
I find
have
that-
no reason to think that you might not continue to use this book without any kind of consultation or,
Consultation with who?
well, you're going to affect the rest of the party. Do you not care about the welfare of
Oh,
us?
totally.
I thought that you liked me,
I do.
but now you're
You're my favourite.
having
Well, my
imps try
second
and
favourite.
kill me?
I didn't have the imp try and kill you. Imps are bad.
Yes, and you've invited one around, and it's going to affect the rest of us because it's bad.
Clearly,
And
that's
I'm a
true.
bit upset.
Yeah, no, that's clearly true. We need to put a better leash on the
Okay.
imp, but it is a
Hold that
valuable.
conversation for 1 second.
I look at the book. And it's like slowly allowing my spores to.
Oh!
I'm watching this.
Give me a perception roll.
You just answered my question.
What's that?
Did you
16.
Okay, so
course
yes,
not.
you absolutely notice what's going
And
on.
my held action triggers, and I
Yeah.
just like
Same,
fucking
but
slam
it's
that
happening.
out of his hands.
Okay,
Make that sweet athletics check.
Athletic.
it's just an attack roll.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Disarm check.
An unarmed attack roll, which isn't great.
It's not your
It's
specialty.
Well,
Uh,
what normally happens when
13?
fungus is involved.
Against my armor class.
He misses.
Yeah, like he's destroying the book. Can I
What are you
also
doing,
like
Gus?
throw my body like out of him?
No.
What are you
had
doing,
your
Gus?
attempt.
Oh, that wasn't. That was
I'm
my
looking-
hand.
Everyone
roll
else can
that
make a perception
summons-
roll. Everyone else can
Hey,
make a
no,
perception
I
roll.
want to snatch the book back.
Yeah.
You reckon it?
Okay, so that was... So you're doing damage to the book.
I'm basically using my reaction to do 1d4 necrotic damage to it.
Can't do
You
necrotic
can't
damage
use-
in
To an
any
inanimate
way to
object.
something that is inanimate.
But I am going to say that slowly it's going to start to erode
does
the
get
paper.
very
It
moist.
just won't happen. It gets very moist, the same way
Yeah.
that a book gets water damaged. But it is starting to do damage to the book. It's your turn. 4.
I'm going to stand between Gus and Bernard.
So you're interposing.
Of course I'm interposing.
Okay.
This book is sending you two down a dark spiral.
I'm provoking an attack of opportunity on my action to get that.
When we get there, yeah. So what you're saying? You say this book is...
It's you guys have been on a bad spiral since we got our hands on this thing. I presumed. And it's no good for you. We
Yeah.
don't need it for the quest.
I think we do.
Oh, you're totally wrong.
I think it's got more information about the masks and all those other things. I don't
Not in that one.
The mask, the other book is the mask information book. This
make
one
an
is
intelligence
demons
roll.
and how to summon them.
Oh, it's a different
12.
book.
You don't actually know what is contained within the book. You've been given, all of you, apart from Bernard and Saya, have only been given a vague idea of what the book might be based on the notes in Infernal that originally were deciphered by you guys from the book. Since the code was broken, all you know is that the code had been broken.
I'll halt the destruction on it, but it's kind of like in hand, like molding. I'm just holding it. I'm just like, are you willing to talk openly about what's going on here? Because it's seeming like demon summoning by feeding people's hearts to imps, and something about a soul that you took in the city the other day that you were talking about yesterday.
Can we put the book
Can we
down
have the conversation
somewhere?
rather than being cagey about
This
it?
is an ultimatum, though, right? Put the book down. Put the book down.
Give the book to Spear.
Yeah, sure. Come over here and take the book.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take the book.
Give me the book back and
No.
let's talk.
I'll take the book.
It goes to Spear.
And then we can sit down and talk.
Spear has the book.
Can I?
Give me the book.
Is the
No, I haven't.
is the other spore still munching at the book though?
No, I've just retracted
No.
them.
Okay.
It was like it was not meant to be like insta destroyed.
Okay.
I didn't want to destroy it in a single round.
Cool.
I wanted to
I think
begin the
otherwise you
straightening
would've
of the
just
book.
said
But you wanted to have the
Fire!
option to destroy it in a
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
round.
I
if
think
you
we
needed
need to not destroy anything until we find out exactly what is in this and what's going on. But I think if Spear has the book, you can trust Spear. You
I-
feel
All right, Spear, ask me questions. What do you want to know?
I am just wondering what's going on, and I'd like to know so that I don't.
Okay,
suddenly
we are
next
engaged
time
in a war
die
for
from
reality that will turn into a blood war between the devils and the demons. Zorktamoy, the demon, is at the center of this plot. This is an important thing for the battle of the world. A big picture goal. That's what's going
How much
on.
do I know about the Blood War stuff anyway? Because I don't understand as much.
You've heard... Well, give me a history roll.
Because have we
Everything
Give me
we
a
know
history
about the
roll.
Blood War we got from the other book.
10?
You've heard stories about the Great War between the demons and the devils. You've heard stories about how celestial beings have stepped in to stop that and protect mankind. But do you know that it is a thing that exists, that has existed for an eon, but you don't know much more besides that. The details of the heavens, the details of the hells, all you really know about those things are what you've been picking up in-game, mostly because you have not engaged in formal religious study.
Okay. I wasn't asking about a war though, although that is terrifying. But I mean, what's going on right now? What's this
That
imp
is what's
you're
going
talking about,
on
and
right
how
now.
did it get poison in my water skin, and what's going on?
Bernard, I want you to make a history roll. Okay. the orcs, or perhaps somebody close to you, a family member, told you in reasonable detail about the fall of Asmodeus and the creation of the Nine Hells and the infernal pact that was struck between the gods and Asmodeus, who himself was a god, and the war that then rages because the whole justification for the pact was to be able to have free reign to enact war on demons to protect those in the mortal realms, but also to punish those in the mortal realms and create a realm where that can happen in order to exalt the gods and encourage the path of good-aligned worship.
Yeah, I mean, the big picture, the devils are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the gods in this battle with the demons.
I wasn't asking about devils and demons. I was asking about you.
Today, no, we're in this thing. We got to stop Zugtamoy. This is what we're doing. This is our mission.
I
It's all about the
understand
blood
that
war.
there is a greater quest at hand here, but I'm not asking about that,
What are you asking
Bernard. I'm asking about imps and hearts and sacrifices and demonic texts. What happened?
about? Okay, demonic texts has a hierarchy of the planes of hell in this book, and the structures, and the way that you use power over these demons through the true name and bargain. At the lowest tier is the imp necessary handle on this thing. So I summoned an imp, and I'll be honest, I wasn't alone in summoning an imp.
Saya?
Yes.
What was the reason behind something?
What's the reason behind summoning an
Have
imp?
you also got something to
To
share with the
understand
group?
Our enemy.
I don't
and
have
the task
anything
we are actually dealing with,
To
because
share with the group.
as a group, we have a tendency of following
That's a
our
lie.
instincts.
I don't
Playing
have
to our
anything to share
characters,
with the
but
group.
somebody
There's
has
nothing
got
I
a
want to
picture
share
of
with
the
this
people.
group.
Did you
I'm
summon
trying-
trying to spare you guys
Did I
from
summon
the
an
moral
imp?
quandaries that I'm taking upon
Yes.
myself to get this done.
So we have two. What is the cost? What is the sacrifice? I don't care if you're giving them dead corpses. Two shits. But again, like the nightmares, if what you're doing is funneling souls that should not be there to there, it's a different story.
Why is it a different story?
Because it's upsetting the natural order.
The natural
Do they-
order
I'm
has
not-
an ecology of souls being fed to demons. That's where souls go. And frankly speaking, if you're a good person and you die and you go to the celestial realms, your soul is still getting eaten by a god. There's no happy ever after jumping through fields and flowers.
But
Give
you
me a
don't have
religion roll.
control over
Gus?
these imps?
Hmm?
You don't have
So everybody,
control over
everyone at the
these
table
imps.
can make a religion roll right now.
Man, I'm
15.
just rolling 12.
Okay.
12.
10.
7.
Gives me 14.
So for the rest
Nice.
of you, you don't fully understand that because you're still wrapping your head around the whole thing and the stuff that's coming out of the text. For Spear and Paral, it sounds like blasphemy, comparing devils to gods. But Bernard, you're actually taken back by a second. Not Bernard, sorry. Gus, you're actually taken aback by for a second as you mull that over in your head. And you're like, oh, actually, that's kind of true, in a way. His point is not invalid, but they're both all the souls are going to a place or another. But you do know that some souls that are taken by the gods that are benevolent are recycled back into the world, but not all of them. Some of them are also used to fuel those gods, but also some of them are exalted to the state of archons or other beings. You're kind of sure, but also you're not formally schooled in this. All you're going off is stories. You're not really 100% sure. You're familiar with the story of Asmodeus, but mostly it's a very colorful tale.
Yeah, I don't know
The
much about
angel
this.
or the god that was forcibly and personally took the portfolio to punish the living who did not align with other gods, to encourage and incentivize them to worship other gods, and who single-handedly took on the oath of the Blood War to combat the demons in their incursion on the mortal realms.
I think I'm more concerned with the fact that you don't seem to have control over the imp. If the imp is poisoning Steam,
Oh, the imp is clearly naughty and evil, and needs a stricter hand, and I think I've been remiss in trying to hide it. But here's the thing. I need to use this imp to deal with the problem I have with the demons. And I assumed that we were all in this quest together.
So the thing is, I think you're misunderstanding me. I don't care if you are in league with demons. Personally, I think it's blasphemous. But what I care about is that you lied to me and then something that you did ended up nearly killing me.
Oh, when did I lie?
That's what I'm upset about.
I withheld the truth.
I personally hold withholding the I personally think that withholding a truth this great that could affect people around you that you are supposedly working alongside is a kind of lie. So I'm a bit sad.
No, I live
sad.
in Little White Lies. That was very much beyond the bounds of the Little White Lie. And what gives
What was
both
the
of you
where was the lie? Explain the lie.
The lie of
pretending that you had
There we go.
no idea of how poison that you had given to your imp ended up in Spear's water canister?
I don't think any of you are prepared for what we're walking into.
What gives you two the impression that you will come out better dealing with these demons when you can barely control imps?
Because power is power. Where it comes
Hurrah.
from is not...
Just dealing with these demons and seeing this quest through will end in all of our deaths. We are the sacrifice to get this done.
We're not doing this for
storms
power
off.
or self-preservation.
Okay. Spear leaves the party.
I stormed away
Oh.
because she definitely couldn't have the emotional bandwidth to handle this. So
See what
Go.
you've done?
Here's my way and with to things. There's a balance. I get it. There's a cycle. Things move. The danger of devils and demons is their capacity to manipulate. Both of you have already fallen prey to their manipulations by isolating yourselves and hiding danger. Do you think that was going to end
That
well?
wasn't their manipulation. That was your judgment.
Yet, I'm still not okay with you sacrificing souls
And I'm
for an imp.
okay with sacrificing whatever it takes to get this done.
I just don't know.
Now
what
we need
the
to come to a
meaning is
similar
now.
page. We need to get back on the same page. Because I'm ready to do whatever it takes to get this done.
Why do we need the imps now, though? Aside from you want to understand them. Alright, you've seen what they can do. Send it away. Let's move along.
Because the imp represents intel on what is happening on the plane of interest and here.
What have we found out so
That's-
far?
What have we found out so far?
Yeah. You've had them for a couple of days, I presume. Have they told you anything useful?
No, I haven't been using them anything usefully.
Oh, just poisoning Spear.
That was its own volition. What I had to do was sabotage the
Sounds-
orc camps and poison the orc leadership.
So how'd that work out?
Probably pretty well, I presume.
Cut
With what poison?
to working campman. Where are my parents? 250 orcs running around trying to figure out how to hold their parents up. And one orc with severe stomach cramps, potentially dead from the poison.
We don't know this stuff.
But I'm assuming it went well.
So these imps, you're getting intel from the Nine Hells, yeah? But they go
Can be
back to
getting
the Nine Hells occasionally? Because your one's not here at the moment.
No.
Yeah, they go back and forth.
But
And so
mine's not in the Nine
they're-
Hells at the moment.
So someone in the Nine Hells also has
Intel on
2
us.
direct reporting lines on us.
Do
Potentially, Zugtamoy,
No, Zakamoy is...
a demon.
Yes.
So, but one of the Nine Hells, if they're interested, is aware of what's going on.
probably the 7th.
And do they know that, for instance, that we're seeking out one of these masks? Do they know where it is? Because clearly they don't so far. Do they now know?
Once you said that, yes.
We've been talking about it for days.
Well,
been
you know that
talking
neither
about-
of the amps are here right now. But yes, you have been.
These things
they-
have been safe and hidden for hundreds of years. Thousands of years. Are they anymore? I don't think so.
Why not?
Because of your imps.
No.
How did our imps do
the
this? That's a reach.
The night. First of all, they knew about the masks before us because of Straken has already been conversing and dealing with the circles of hell. So I think we have to assume that the secrets, if it's one imp or two imps are going to reveal that secret's already been long revealed.
There were passages that you might have overlooked in your excitement to have these imps with regard to very specific contracts that need to be drawn up with these creatures in order to mediate their behavior. Contracts that you will need to write up and hand to me as your games master.
Well, Straken was conversing with the Hells, and that led to nothing good. So I don't know
Just keep talking amongst
that we're
yourselves,
going to
guys.
have value from this like you think you will. I think the risk of having them might outweigh what benefit you think you will get.
As you
Because
said,
they have that communication, like, sure, they can give you intel, but they're imps, they're evil. How do you know how much of it is true? And then whatever they see here, they can take back with them. And it's already divisive. It's already caused this rift.
as you yourself
Whether or
said,
not they're manipulating
power
or
is
not.
power. Currently, the Infernal and the Devil realms have all the power. Individually, we don't have much going on.
What does Shah and Selune say about sacrificing souls for demons? And devils.
I believe Shah is always one for finding knowledge wherever that is. I'm probably not on board, but that's the point of the duality of the gods.
That's why we don't stick to just one team.
Well, no, but that's true. You know, their great conflict led to magic, right? But at the end of the day, they are two sides of the same thing. And while Selune has to exist in a place where she can't see all the dark and the secrets, that's why Shah must support her through that.
That didn't
So
answer the question.
so we are saying that
So I'm
Shah-
saying that Shah, I'm sure, is fine with it. But if you like, I can continue to pray on it. But I like that you have assumed that I have not already prayed on it.
have you?
I have. And so far, I've received no negative signs.
Positive ones.
Oh Shah, if you're not okay with the souls of people being fed to the hells, do nothing.
No, that's not. Trust me.
Ah, shit.
I'm working.
You're also
The more you know.
I believe that Shah is fine with this.
I mean, you told about Shah. I was fine with the whole duality thing. It's just, this is moving rather quick.
Yeah, well, I guess, it's all fine and easy to accept myself for who I am when it's all peachy and when we get to spend a week doing nothing and get to enjoy a nice hotel and get to eat and feast. But the truth is that there is an uglier side. And that's the point, is there sometimes you have to take brave souls to look at the uglier side and see it for what it is worth.
When you want to instill your view, it's okay to
It's not
take
about
the agency
instilling a view,
of
it's
others.
it's what is for the greater good.
But is it for the greater good?
I believe it is for the greater good,
So
and
I-
you have not convinced me otherwise yet.
So I should do things that others might very much view as wrong and evil for what I believe is the greater good.
Yes.
Yes. Well, not what you believe is the greater good for the actual greater good.
No, I'm aggressive with what you believe is the greater good. You take it upon yourself to determine what your greater good is and put that into plan with your hands. And if you are right
And if you have enough power, you will make your reality real. And what I want to do with this is stop this Sultamoid from destroying the planet. That's what I want. The difference between us seems to be that I'm ready to pay a cost, and I'm ready to force other people to pay a cost as well.
So what sort of scale of other people are you willing to force to pay the cost of that? 10% of people?
Yes, I'd say
all
actually
humans,
40% of all humans
everyone aside from the good
alive
half
today
of halflings.
in order to save reality. I think that's the appropriate cost. So when it's going to cost more than half, when we go past Thanos, I'm ready to pull back a bit.
Insert mythological Lich Lord in here.
But 40% is where
I
I
just
lose comfort.
I don't think that your understanding of that book I know that you've translated some of it. I don't know that you understand everything that's in it. I know I wouldn't, but
Oh, I
We've only had
absolutely
it-
do not.
Good
well,
grief.
then I
Look,
think we can't be dealing with it yet. We need more experienced knowledge about what's in there, and I think until
Oh,
we
for
do
the
Oh,
love of
that-
cool,
God,
no,
I
that's
think we
great.
need
That's
an
good.
expert.
Let's take the book to the expert that knows everything that's going on and have them save the world. Once we're done, that's not our
Well-
job.
I'm not saying that.
We're
I'm
gonna
saying
have
we
to
need to
do it.
look at it for longer. You had
It's
it for
on
what,
us,
a
and there's no
day.
time.
I
and
feel
then
like
you
we're not
summoned him.
going to see on the same page even for the next 24 hours. So how do we move forward?
Banish the imps for safety.
You can do that.
Can you get the souls back?
No, I don't think
No.
you can do that.
What souls? Why is hung up on souls?
Why am I hung up on souls? I've told you why I'm hung up on souls.
You take human lives because you think that you're not destroying their souls, so the murder is somehow not as relevant.
Oh no, most of the murders are of people who are terrible and just should be erased anyway, like that pack of ogres back there.
I think
Monstrous.
Death is beautiful because it feeds in to the cycle. It turns. You're cutting into it and pulling something out of it.
No, there's a bigger cycle than just the bowl that's sitting in front of you.
I think until you can control the imps, you need to get rid of those. I think that's number one. That's the only way we can start.
That's the first thing that I've heard as a counterpoint that makes sense, and I agree.
You can't control them. It nearly killed Spear. We can't risk that, and we can't risk that, and we can't trust you within the party knowing that they're there. Whether or not you want them to be malicious about it, it's the fact that it happened without your knowledge.
Alright, how do we banish them?
We've summoned them, and we have them fight to the death.
Well, then we're left with one.
And then Spear fixes it.
Speak and banish.
Smite the shit out of that thing instead.
Are you willing to agree not to use the book without consulting the rest of us?
I will willing to agree
Because
not to use the book without consultation, but if you'll forgive me, I think that the few people in this party are, how can I say, lack the fortitude to make the hard decisions, and I'm happy to take consultation from others, but I'm not happy to indulge a consensus position that includes people that I think are unreasonable.
There are just points at which doing it the easy way versus finding another way to do it is laziness, and it is the purview of the evil and powerful.
Sure.
And when it comes to we're doing this for the greater good, there will come a point where your actions will either cause me to leave or to in good conscience put you down.
Well, maybe that's what you're here
Because
to do.
I know how those nightmares are made. And if you're going to go down that path where, I know, for the greater good, I'm going to torture something until its literal rage, depression, and hate consumes itself and turns it into a demon, this is going to be problematic. And your first step is the comfortability of sacrificing individual souls so you can get an imp that you have no clue about. And this was the first step on a path that is a rather thick book.
Can I summon my imp?
Of course.
Can I hold it in my hand?
It's currently invisible and looking around nervously.
Yeah. I want to activate my see invisibility. And I want to say, imp, show yourself. Arthra the Dickless, please reveal yourself.
Okay, a small purple imp with no penis
At least it's
and an
D6.
obvious scar where it should be. Little flappy wings. Is kind of crawls up from behind Saya's shoulder and looks around.
I think Spear should be here to witness it being done.
I was able to cut off its limb, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Alright. I just want to take its head in one hand, and I want to take my knife, and I want to slit its, remove its head from its
Does
body.
that get rid of it?
I don't know. Try.
The nightmare when Destroy just went back to hell.
After feeding a bit.
Do we need to look at the book?
Oh, so you're trying to destroy an imp soul now?
An imp does have a soul. He's not lying.
Imps have soul?
We need to banish it back.
Can I just...
Imps are devils. Devils are once mortal souls that went to hell and turned from Lima and got their way up the ladder.
Really? Do you know that?
Well, do a minus mark.
Make a persuasion roll.
The persuasion is
I'm just not sure that's
10.
true.
10.
Does the book tell you how to banish them?
You're not sure if it's true
Yeah.
because you don't know if it's true.
That was my thing. Is that even
We
true?
need more information.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
in D&D
need
it's true, but in
a
the game-
more expert
Your
voice.
character knew that,
Yeah.
and you were speaking the truth.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's true
And-
because you just don't know enough about
Yeah.
the topic.
For the love of the gods, I hate myself for saying this, but my mum knows some of this shit. And if you say power is power, she's pretty fucking powerful.
Is she on the island?
She's on a better island.
Is it close to the island?
Is she on the way?
It's about the same distance.
It's like walking.
Like,
In the
is it
same direction.
In the same direction?
To the ocean and then on a boat, yeah. She's on Evermeet.
Oh, isn't that across the Western Sea?
It's a great distance across the
Yeah.
Western Sea.
It's not that bad.
2 weeks to a month by ship.
Yeah, I think we need.
At
We
least
have
The
other-
land here shows that side.
we need
Beyond
to get
that,
to-
it's shrouded by magical mists and storms, guarded by
Faster
giant sea creatures.
actions with no idea of their consequences will be disastrous.
Well, we need to get to Luskin. We need to inform the army on the way. We need to pass on the message that Spear has promised to do so. If we can look in the book while we're traveling and find a way to banish these safely, but otherwise, I think we need to.
Well, then we'll
I don't know,
banish.
find
We'll
what
banish
we
them.
can
Do we want to sit and stop and do this now, or do we want to do it tonight?
The other thing, and contrary to what I am thinking here, if you were going to kill these and then go back and get more, why not figure out how to work with the ones you've already got? That way, you don't need to do the thing again.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, why don't we keep walking? We'll look at the book as soon as we rest, and we'll figure it out
But,
together. Not just us. You can, whoever wants to supervise, feel free.
we need to know whether can you put a bell around their necks.
Yeah, sure. And I just pull out a little bell.
This is disturbingly cute. I like this. This is winning me over a little bit.
Invisible? Is there some way that we at least can know where they are? That's going to make it, easier to keep safe.
Well, yeah,
from
imp.
them.
Stay visible. Arthur, stay visible.
It's currently visible, so
Yeah.
Timing. We resolve.
I understand what you're saying, Bernard. I just don't want you...
Spear starts walking back up the hill.
Going-
You heard a series of heavy thocks, as if a tree was being completely mutilated, and a few cries. A bunch of birds flew up from the thicket, and now
The trees have souls.
Spear comes back,
Yeah, they
wiping
do.
off
They do.
her blade and returning it to its scabbard.
It's part of the reincarnation cycle. We'll talk
As
about it.
you finish your sentence,
I'm not saying that we might not get to the point where we need to ramp up the sacrifices we make. But let's not go there first. Let's take a look at the intervening options.
So we don't know how to banish them.
Yeah,
Is
but
there
we
a
don't want to.
possibility that you're going to try and ask for them again? You're right in terms of let's not do it another time to summon them because
We-
that's...
But
It's just that some things take time, and we don't want to be in a position where we're asking 9 mothers to make one baby in 1 month.
That's fine. But I'm just saying, don't... The trouble with these things, like Straken, is the path is easy, often, fraught with danger, but the sacrifices are once justifiable, will start rolling off your tongues. And already you've said you're willing to do anything. I just want to see that the steps between here and there, we see if there's off-roads before we do that.
I'm
Is
just
that
glad
reasonable?
that we're talking about it now instead of hiding things from each other.
let's work out a red line in the sand, at which point you've got a green light to end me.
Probably not tonight, though. I think tonight is not the time to figure out that.
And it's
red
got to be a
line in the sand.
lot way further than just a couple of souls.
Couple of sneaky sacrifices.
It's getting to sundown
Yeah.
at this point. This conversation has been heated and going on for
Let's
an
set
hour.
camp, make the imps stay in one spot for
Okay.
the evening.
Is it kicks appear and be visible? Right here. Do it.
The smell of sulfur and a puff of red smoke, and one-armed imp now sits. It looks at the other one and looks at all of you.
Put the bell around.
At what point is it did you put the poison in Spear's water bottle?
Why would I do such a thing? It says, tugging heartily at its penis in frustration.
Oh, with the one arm though.
With one twisting it in little knots and clawing at its leg.
Just answer the question. At what time?
It might have been last night that I put some spare poison. There was a little bit at the bottom of the jar. I did not want to waste it. You would not want me to waste it. One day, she will turn on you and butcher you. They always do. The father was a Bahamut. They are
Okay, stop talking now.
Can I hear it?
Yeah.
We can see it and we can
Oh,
hear
yeah.
it now. And
Well, Spear,
It's really helping your argument.
is it Kix has done you wrong? Take your whatever you need to get.
No, do not leave me at the mercy of the worshipper of the Platinum Dragon.
I don't think he's done me anything wrong. He didn't have any, bond with me to break.
Cool. Cold.
I expect an imp to try and harm me, but I didn't expect you to.
I didn't try to harm you.
No, but you did inadvertently through behavior, but through the actions you chose to take.
Oh yeah. Stupidity will always come back to blow, but this isn't the first time that's happened.
they
I
have
was
no
just hoping
control.
that it might be the last.
I'm going to put down this for the evening. Why don't you and I sit down between your intelligence and my capacity to sniff bullshit, of which you two have reeked with the past few days. Maybe we can get something written up that'll stop these things being a problem. I used to help my dad with a lot of documentation when I was young at the university, so it's not going to be a fun evening.
It's getting late. Shall we set up camp?
Yeah.
You guys move to a thicket and do your best to set up a discreet camp with a smothered fire.
I also want to cast mending on the book.
Oh, it's you can't get the mold out though. It's
Yeah, you can't
in.
get the smell.
With
It's
magic,
in.
you can.
Prestidigitation and
wait.
mending will get any.
Don't I still have the book?
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
That
With
Spear.
moldy book.
Spear, would you mind? We need
need
the
the
book to potentially banish these things.
Or at least get a better handle.
No, we're not
No,
going to
no,
bash.
please don't send us
We're going to
back.
bind. We're going to bind because you're just going to go down here again. You're going to get another imp, right? If we banish this one, you're just going to get another one at some point.
If it was
Right, if
necessary,
it's
we'd only get it.
necessary.
We're only getting these things because it.
So let's bind first. Banish. Learning to banishing is good. Let's get the binds first. Then banish later. You've got the tool now.
If you can control
You've paid
it.
the cost. Now let's make it work.
But if you can't, then
Someone paid the cost.
Yeah. Do you know who they were?
No,
Did you kill the person?
no. Actually, I did everything in my power to try to save the person.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and don't question me on that again.
Yeah, this was incompetence, not malice. I got you, son.
right. Well, I think you two have a late night of reading ahead.
I'm
We need
giving
to
the
set a
book
watch.
to Bernard. Gus. Gus can make a decision about it.
Let's sit down. Can you hit me with a wand?
What?
He needs to
Sorry.
sober up.
Oh yeah. Okay. Done.
Breathalyze him.
You know what else is bad? Is all of your spores die.
No, she was just the poison. She gave me the
Okay.
poison.
Your
Yeah.
spores are kind of poisonous.
Not to me though.
Yes, the ones inside you were alive, but the ambient ones floating around.
Oh, I think there's already a cheese one.
No, the cheese melt's not poisonous either. You
No,
can
the
eat
cheese mold's fine.
Okay. It's important.
It's like, oh, those are just my ambience.
Yeah, the ones that attack people.
Alright, I'll puff some out over the course of the night. Maybe we don't do that again, but that's twice. Oh, God.
The colors.
Oh.
The visions of the battlefield come rushing back to you. The sight of a wyvern hurtling towards you. The blood. The innocent eyes who knew nothing about what they walked into.
Let's get this done tonight, shall we?
I will provide some bardic inspiration.
I'd like you to make a performance roll for me.
Sing us to sleep.
No, you got to stay
Sorry, that's right, we're studying.
17.
So
for 20 hours, miss.
the tension is ultimately broken by a sorrowful tune, a woeful tune of heartache, and the trials of friendship. A song of a family torn apart by beliefs and decisions. And then followed up by the song that you have often and your old master used to attribute to the two-faced goddess, but had been distilled over thousands of years into a simple song of two sisters divided by a lover who killed each other, but then in death were reunited, sharing their love once more. And you feel like you've broken through a few barriers, and you genuinely feel at this point that you've actually never had friends like this, and yes, you're lucky, and yes, you could go on to any other group of friends at any time, but if these people didn't care about you, and the same with you, they would have just attacked and killed you. This would have been a fight to the death, not a dialogue. And in that, you feel a warmth, whether or not it's just through the sheer love that Thea brings to the group, or the compassion that Spear has for your undying souls, even though you might not respect yours. It gives you a certain level of respect for each other. And together, you decide that perhaps talking about what you're doing, yes, there are tools in the book that you can use to further your cause, but knowledge is probably safer for all of you. And you take the night to really get into this, to really absorb as much as you can from it, and to reunite as a group, as a party. And you rest and prepare yourselves for the river journey that will take you the rest of the way to Luskan. Endgame.
Woo! Got intense people.